There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Yes, yes, yes. You are welcome here. You are welcome to the house of love, the house of truth, the house of transformation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to yourself first and then tuning in to Ade Presents Being You, the podcast. Multitasking. I need to make sure the sound is going out in the right places. When you tune into yourself, you make yourself available for transformation. you create this space for you to just drop into what is true for you, what is true about you. And just want to make sure that sound is going out every way it needs to. I think it is. Yep, I'm sure it is. All right. And as you make yourself available and align, Brendan, how are you doing, my brother? Nice to see you. You create a space for transformation. Transformation, I don't believe you can prepare. Well, you can prepare for it, but you can't make it happen because there are other things happening in the background that is working together. Your spiritual practice, your intention, the way you see the world, the thoughts you're holding, all of that, when they align, when they come together, and your thoughts and your feelings are come together like the masculine and the feminine, like a woman and a man. That's what I was going to say. But the filter came on. I was like, no filters, because we are being who we are. And it's true, we're all grown. And even if you're not grown, you learn. I don't even know why we don't talk to children about sex. Yes, you got to tell them, but it's got to be age appropriate. Who said it shouldn't be? But we need to tell them. They know. But from a conscious level, it's important to educate our children so they're not shocked. And then you're not trying to hide your girls from your boys and telling your boys to go out there and sow their oats, but you're hiding the girls. What are they going to do? And then when they go sow their oats in places that you don't agree with because you can't even understand it as against God's will, you'll be like, oh my God, we set them up to fail. Now, I'm not saying that that's what makes people go after whoever they're going after, but I'm talking about our thinking. We got to empower children as we empower ourselves and stop waiting. I don't know what we're waiting for. Anyway, I'm Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome to another episode of Being You, the podcast. Hey, Pat, nice to see you. Good to see you too. Being You, the podcast is about a journey back to yourself. Welcome. And I want to invite you. Yes, this is the beginning. You already know what you're going to get. Hey, New Jays, you know what you're going to get. You know it's going to be fire. You know you're going to be transformed. You know that at the very least, you're going to leave here smiling, feeling good. If you get nothing else. And when you smile, your whole body responds. Your whole body responds and you start to feel different. Life is really simple. We just make it complicated. You know, you could really have a good life just like not giving a flip. But sometimes we put all these conditions on what we must do in order to be happy. If we don't do this, then that can happen. But wait a minute. Your body is doing what it needs to do without your permission. Now, you got to feed it. You got to rest. But even still, there are people who are not eating regularly, who are not rested. And the body is doing what it needs to do. Why don't you? Why don't I? Why don't we trust more in that intelligence that guides the body, that heals the body, that rearranges, that adjusts? But we make life so complicated. Yeah, we can stop and take a breath because you know I can go. And as you take a breath, you reboot your system. You allow yourself to tune into your body. You allow yourself to hear differently. And you realize and you recognize that we have everything that we need. You have everything that you need. We all do. You know, this work that I do, spiritual counseling, coaching, hosting, facilitating workshops, really I'm just creating the space to activate something that you already know. Sometimes it's a confirmation, sometimes it's an affirmation. But we're all doing it, whatever it looks like, whether you call it spiritual or not. Whether you think, oh, that's just useful information I can't use. Well, at least you learn is useful information that you can't use, or maybe you can't use it right now. But it's all the same. Everything that is happening right now is a story, it's a movie, it's a way that God is telling a new story. And you get to choose if you want to read that chapter or skip that chapter or not read that book. But sometimes we get so caught up, we're going to burn this book because it doesn't align with how I think. It's the devil's work. We criticize what we don't know, not realizing we're criticizing ourselves. But when you take a deep breath, you give your mind permission to just it's like telling your mind, sit your ass down somewhere, okay? Just chill out. And in that space, you can remember to be still, claim the truth, and remind yourself that you are here, that you are present, and that you are now. Everything is happening now. Life is happening now. Your dreams are happening now. Your goals are happening now. Your prayers are happening now. It's not happening yesterday. It's not happening tomorrow. It can't happen tomorrow. What happens tomorrow will be exactly what you created today. The mindset that you bring into tomorrow is what you're doing right now. So you get an opportunity to change and shift that. And that's why today's theme is, what is your perception, not perception, point of view of you, not of yourself. Yeah. What's your perception of, what's your point of view of yourself? Yeah, that sounds good. No. What is your point of view of you? Thank you, Liz. Liz was like, Pat, relax, it's all good. That's right. She may be talking about a podcast I did yesterday, because I do 3 podcasts now. I'll tell you more about that. But anyway, this is season 4, episode 19. Today's Tuesday, May 31st. Time is flying. But is time really flying? That's a new insight right now. Is time really flying? Time is only flying when we feel like there's a place we think we need to be and we're not there yet and we're running late. If we're not in a rush to get anywhere, then time is not flying. And if you feel like time is flying, well, time is flying because I have so much to do. There's always going to be more to do. There's always, no matter how much you do, if you get everything done today, there'll be more to do tomorrow. That's just the way it is. So time is really, truly a measurement as a construct. And if you're having a good time it doesn't even matter. But if you're having an experience, I was going to say something else. If you're having an experience that you don't like, they're just like, oh my God, this is taking forever. Oh boy. I want to invite you to like and share. Okay, so those of you, somebody is watching. I don't know how that's even happening because I don't have StreamYard. I think that's you, Pat, on someone saying, not saying. So StreamYard and Facebook, they have an interesting relationship. If you're on a group page, you have to give StreamYard, Facebook, permission to show your name. So right now, whoever it is, you may not know where you are, but I don't think I have this. Let's see. Yeah, I have it on, maybe it's the Being You podcast page. So make sure you give Facebook permission to give you a name. So what I'm going to do is type that StreamYard.com, I think it is, or maybe it's Facebook.com StreamYard, I don't know. Anitra, I've seen that. Okay, so how are you watching me, Anitra? I'm curious. I think it's StreamYard.com. Wait a minute. Oh, Anitra, of course, you've been on my personal page. StreamYard.com/Facebook. And if it's not that, then try Facebook, because this never happened before, actually. Facebook.com/StreamYard. One of them will take you to a place where actually to give permission so your name can show up. That's weird that you're on Facebook and this is happening. Anyway, I'm sure you can work it out. I know it's you now, so at least it says Facebook user. Let's jump in. I want to invite you to like and share the show. Like it, because you know you're gonna enjoy it. Because if you didn't think you're gonna enjoy it, you wouldn't have clicked it anyway. The reason you're here, you said, "Oh, wait a minute, Life Coach Ade is on." Oh, hold on. I'll have lunch later. I'm not ready yet. I got to take this all in. So just go ahead and like it. Don't even tell me you did. Okay, I'll pretend I don't see it. Okay, go ahead. Go like it. Share it. Because I'm trying to grow my business. That's your gift to me. One way you can give back to me. I'm trying to grow these numbers. Because growing these numbers, Anyway, it really doesn't matter because numbers are going to grow whether Facebook likes it or not, IG or whatever, because truth will be told even if it takes a liar to tell it. Truth finds its own. So I ain't going to trip right now. Being you is an invitation. Being you the podcast is an invitation for you to ask deeper questions. I have some more questions for you, but this is the foundation of the show. Anitra is your sister. I did not know Anitra is your sister. Okay, now I know. Like blood sister or spiritual sister or sister, soul sister. You know how we do. So the foundation questions. How do you see yourself? This is a question that you're asking you. How do I see myself? How do I see the world? How do I see myself in the world? And how do I see the world in me? Hey, Kwali, nice to see you. You ask yourself those questions. How do I see myself? And that's really today's theme, today's topic, really. If you think about it, what is your point of view of you? I can summarize today's show into this next sentence. I was going to say one sentence, but I'll probably go longer. Y'all know me. The only thing that matters in this world when it comes to your joy, to your fulfillment, your happiness, your peace of mind, is what you think about yourself. Now, if for whatever reason you don't listen to the show anymore, you got what you need. Now, people who are into marketing was like, no. Stick your finger into their pain. Let them hang around. You have a choice. You have a choice to hang around. Oh, okay. So Liz is Pat's spiritual sister. Got it. Okay. But what I know for sure is my show is more than things that I've prepared, right? Prepared, written. Why am I saying that over and over? I don't know. It's for me, I come to the show looking forward to what comes, like excited to. I always start my show and I ask, speak to me, but I'm to speak unto the people. What is it do I need to hear? So anyway, the short version of today's show is simply what you think about yourself, how you see yourself, what you know about yourself is the most important thing. And even more powerful about what you think about God. I just want that to sit for a minute. What you think about yourself is far more important than what you think about God. But you know what's interesting? What you think about yourself, how you treat yourself, how you treat others, how you treat the people you don't like, how you treat the people you do like, that's exactly how you treat God. Don't you even dare tell me no. Because how can you be different when your mindset is set? Verbally, we can say that, oh, no, when it comes to God, I trust God. Stop it. Just stop. You trust God as much as you trust yourself, because if you trust God, I don't know who I'm talking to, so I'm just going to keep talking. I'm probably talking to myself. If you trust God the way you say you trust God, when you get the guidance, when you get the nudge, you'll go out there and do it. You won't overthink. You won't overanalyze. You won't ask questions about who's going to pay for this. You're not going to ask a question. You're not even going to talk about, I'm stepping out in faith. When people tell you I'm leaving my job, I'm stepping out in faith, you know they have nothing lined up. That simply means I'm leaving my job, but I don't have anything. There's nothing wrong with that, but the words we speak connects us with the thoughts that we hold, and it also reflects to us what we believe about the divine, what we believe about God, the great I am. Whew. I was going to do some announcements, but it's all flowing through me. Liz said, we are God in the flesh, here to share her love. I am Life Coach Ade, and I approve that message. Pat said, if I truly trusted God, there would be no doubt. Woo-wee! Don't make me throw my shoes at you. That's right. And Let me see. And we can trust God and still have doubts. Conversation with Key. Hello, Key. Nice to see you. We can trust God and still have doubts. But the action you take will determine if you're committed to your doubts or God. If you have doubts and like, well, but God, can you have somewhere else do it? You don't really trust like you say you do. But when you really trust and you have doubts, you're like, yep, I know. I'm keeping it moving. Trust in the process of life. So anyway, quick announcement. I got some more later about my podcast and stuff. June 18th on Reimagine platform. I know that's right. Conversation with Keith said, praise God. My boo, we say it loud for the people at the back. I don't say it as good as she says it. I like the way she says it. But anyway, June 18th, 2022 on letsreimagine.org, I am hosting my Representing Our Ancestors, Representing Our Stories. And so we're doing a group. Everybody's coming out. Come out and play. I'm hosting Representing Our Ancestors, Representing Our Stories. And this on July 18th, we're going to be doing working with grief. It's a grief ritual. It's a space to allow what wants to come up, make space for it. Don't get attached to it, and heal it. Too often we run from grief. Grief is a gift that allows you to be grateful. If you don't allow yourself to grieve, it's hard to give yourself permission to be grateful. I mean, you can be grateful, but when you've been in the belly of the beast of you, what it means to be human, when you can be honest with yourself that incident, that information, that thing, that person broke my heart, and you're willing to just be with it and trust, and not, trust, but being willing to be with it and allow what wants to come up. Oh my God, with everything that I did. Oh my God, what is the country coming to? Oh my God, what is the just sit with it. No judgment. You're just observing it. You actually give those heavy information, but emotions, opportunity to rise up. And then you can actually receive the message. Sometimes we'll pile our grief on top of one another and keep it down there. And we're miserable, unhappy, and judge other people. And when something else happens that really has nothing to do with us, but not only, but by the fact that we're connected, something has happened to another human being, it takes us out completely. And then we feel vulnerable. And then we challenge ourselves and say, do I really trust God? But sometimes all you need to do is face your own heartbreak. And when you do that, you can see something on the other side. Take a breath. Let's see what's going on. I love that you all are having. See, I go through. I love that y'all just. I am multinational or whatever. Let's see. Let me see what's in Instagram here. Yeah, so Pat was saying she missed the podcast for yesterday. I do not like this thing on Instagram. It's hard to read. Liz said, I need a grief ritual. My 36-year-old daughter transitioned 4 years ago. I am much better than I was. It's a process. And yeah, so June 18th, Reimagine. I will have the link for you. I'm working on that. We did the Representing Your Ancestors last Thursday. That was pretty powerful. And it just makes me so happy, so grateful when people are showing up for their healing. And understand this, when you show up for your healing, you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for the collective. You're doing it for humanity. You're doing it for your ancestors. You're doing it for your family. It may not always be easy, it may be challenging, but everybody got some shift they need to shift. No. That don't sound right, does it? So if you have children around, tell them, go in your room. Like, why are you yelling, Dad? Go in your room. Everybody got some shit they need to shift. And the great things about the shit that we're dealing with, it allows us, the grief sometimes feels shitty. It makes you just feel like, I don't know. It shows you the full capacity for the most part, or gives you an idea of what it's like to be human. And when you know there's places that you get stopped, there are things that happen. Liz is talking about her daughter who passed away 4 years ago. And people will say, oh, just a matter of time. Time will heal. Maybe, maybe not. But love never dies. Love never dies. So anyway, June 18th, join me on Reimagine. In the next few days, I will have a link for you. And you can register and let's grow together. My brother Baptiste, Jean Baptiste, all the way from Rwanda. Thank you for being here. Let's read today's daily thoughts. Are y'all ready for daily thoughts? This is the last day of May, and Daily Thoughts is an inspirational published by Hillside International Truth Center, and I'm one of their writers. One of 4. So that means I write three times a year. So many conversations about that. But anyway, we won't go into that right now. So I wrote for the month of May, and the next one is September. So today's daily thought, May 31st, the affirmation is, my loving is inclusive. Just take that in for a minute. Your loving is inclusive. It's an affirmation. It may not be right now. Ooh, I can do a show on that, but I won't. Let me put my glasses back on. This helps me stay focused. So the affirmation is, my loving is inclusive. For those who don't know what an affirmation is, affirmation are not just words that you speak and hoping it will be true. Affirmations are statements of truth. And by speaking it, you're affirming it, you're giving it life, and you're challenging yourself, being intentional that you're going to live by the affirmation. So it's one thing to say, I am wealthy, I am loved. And then after you say it, you go back to, I don't know how I can afford that. My job don't pay me well. I hate my job. I wish I can get another job. And then I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. You can do that. But what if you just allow yourself to say, I am wealthy, I am loved. And when the thoughts about your job comes up, or a bill that you can't pay, wealth is so much more than money, but that's the one we use most of the time. So let me stick with that for a minute. When there's a bill you can't pay shows up, rather than like, oh my God, I really need to maybe get another job. Before you go there, just say, I'm gonna figure it out. There's a solution. There's money everywhere. There's money somewhere. I'm gonna figure it out. That is you affirming that you are wealthy, that you are powerful, that you're capable. All right, let's start over again. My loving is inclusive. That's the affirmation. If you're not feeling loved or feeling love, it is probably because you are not making room for love. Let's slow that down. Love is self-generated. The love you feel is based on how open you are to love. Love is inclusive when you love is inclusive when you love for the sake of love. This is unconditional love. Unconditional love is all inclusive. Everything and everyone belong. I start my day with the intention to be unconditionally loving with myself. I start my day with the intention to be unconditionally loving with myself. No matter what I do or do not do, I choose to love and appreciate myself. I love unconditionally. I love because I can. I love because I am love. I love because it is my nature. I beam the love vibration to my fellow human beings. I love all that makes up this thing called life. My love is healing the world. Thank you, power in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is, and the scripture is love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 7 to 8. Love. I'm feeling pulled to say a little bit more about that. So my business, my work is based on 4 pillars. Number 1 is redefining love, to have a more expanded view of what love is, and to know that love is more than what you feel, is more than an emotion. The other one is your life as a spiritual practice. Your life as a spiritual practice. Life as a spiritual practice. The third pillar is vision with action. Vision with action. Have a vision. Let your vision be so big that you know that you have to grow into someone else, someone more, in order to achieve the vision. And when your vision is that big, it inspires your action. And the fourth pillar is be heard, be seen, be you, belong. So redefining love, and love being all inclusive. We sometimes make a mistake and think, well, I don't feel like being loving. That's conditional love. There's nothing wrong with conditional love, but be aware that when you conditionally love, you're conditionally closing yourself from the love that already exists. Unconditional love, which is also that's also a way in which God is defined, as God is unconditional love. It loves just for the sake of loving. If you're willing to accept that, if you're willing to embrace that God is unconditional loving, you understand that God does not need to say no to you, does not punish you, is never going to punish you. Doesn't even know what punishment means. Love loves for the sake of loving. What is love? Freedom. What is love? Acceptance. Love loves. It's all inclusive. Love loves the saint and the sinner. That's why in the Christian community they tell you that, no matter what you've done in life, if you can just commit your life to Jesus, to the Christ consciousness, to the divine, to the great I am, you will be redeemed. When we filter, let me say it this way, when we define love, that's when we start putting conditions on unconditional love. So in order to make ourselves feel good, we'll impose our limited view of love on somebody else. But the truth is, love loves you no matter what you're doing, no matter how you show up. Now, I'm not saying there isn't cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. So whether you do something that is not for your highest good, the law of cause and effect is going to kick into effect. And love will still love you. Will love you through it when you realize, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Love's got your back. It may not feel as painful when you're going through the effect of what you caused. I love this thing called life. I love my life, and I am so grateful that I am on a path where I'm living the life that I was created to live. It resources you when you're doing what you're here to do, whatever that is. Careful before you start thinking, I wish I can do what she's doing. I wish I can do what she's doing, what he's doing. No, if they're doing it, they're doing what they came here to do. You're supposed to be doing what you're here to do. And that could be, well, I'm going to break that down a little bit, but I'll say it this way first. That could be you simply working 9 to 5 for now. We need people working at 9 to 5. We need those reps sometimes who just can't think critically. Microsoft. Oh, did I say that out loud? We need reps who are willing to investigate and things and like, are willing to say, you've been talking about this, where you still keep telling us we're not answering your question. What is it? What is it? How can we help you, Microsoft? Wait, don't say that out loud. Why not? Because they suck out loud. But we need people who understand that the main reason for being here is to be an extension of love, is to be an extension of unconditional love. My sweetheart will always say what we're dealing with in the world is a heart issue. It's a heart issue. And sometimes we don't want to go there because in your heart holds so many things. Your heartache, your pain, your betrayal, maybe where you've been abused. But within your heart is liberation, is joy, is happiness, is peace. In your heart is deep wisdom to help you deal with the challenge that you're dealing with today. So the question is, what is your point of view of you? How do you see yourself? Everything that's going on in your world that triggers you, that makes you mad, is really based on what's going on in here. Or should I just say in here? Because once you accept what someone else is doing, what was done collectively or on an individual basis, and you accept it as real, and you accept it, when you get mad, this is happening here. Sometimes the things that people do, they've done it and they've moved on. And we all have a responsibility. Not only to be the change we want to see, but we also have the responsibility to be the healing for the BS that's happening in the world. We have a responsibility. The question is, are you adding to the BS or are you updating your BS? The BS, the bullshit, are you adding to it and updating your BS, your belief system? Because when you do that, energetically, you're changing things. It changes the conversation we have with people. It changes the conversation you're having with people. If you keep agreeing with, constantly in your conversation, keep agreeing with the BS of the world, and you don't upgrade your BS, your belief system, you're just adding more to the same thing that you say you don't want, need, or desire in the world. So we're in a place now where we can't just punk out. I mean, we can. On this earth plane, the only God I'm going to see, the only God you're going to see, the only God we're going to see is the God that we are revealing, the God that we are reflecting. See, the God thing gets people, I understand it. It gets people kind of feeling all kind of way about God. I don't do God. Don't do God. It doesn't really matter. Because it's not, for me anyway, I don't believe in a man in the cloud as like, say, ooh, I'm proud of him. He's really knocking that show out of the park. Or like, oh, look at him. He's feeling self-doubt. No, we can't even define this thing that we call God. It's known by many names. Some people call it Allah. Some people call it Buddha. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it the divine. Some people say something. I don't know. Something told me. Something bigger than me. The great I am. It really doesn't matter. What matters is your relationship to that part of you that is unconscious, that part of you that is beyond words, that part of you that is creative. Where does creativity come from? I don't know. Well, tap into that. Because since you can tap into creativity, that means you can create and recreate a new reality on this earth plane. So whenever someone says some things, particularly about this God thing or politics, understand that it's all a limited perspective that we're enforcing one another. It doesn't mean we don't say what is true for us, and it doesn't mean we don't take action. Because some people were happy to tell you that the way they see is the only way. You know the stories. I'm not going to waste time talking about that. My work is to empower. And when I'm led to talk about that, I will. Pat said, I have a hard time loving people. Okay. Let's try this. There you go. I have a hard time loving people who take advantage of me. I am learning how to separate the person from their behavior. It is hard to love people who are taking advantage of us. It's hard to love people who are just damn right mean. So first of all, now let me see. I don't want to just say words because can you, can we love ourselves in a moment where someone is taking advantage of us? Can I give myself that love? Like they took advantage of me and it's hard for me to love them, but can I love myself and tell the truth about what they did? And here's the next level. Love them enough, tell the truth, and love myself enough, tell the truth, but without judging them. Just let that marinate. How can you tell the truth about them without judging them? Just say what happened. You know, when they say just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. What did they do? They betrayed me. They slept with my wife. They slept with my husband. They stole my food. I put it in there in the office and they took it and never replaced. Whatever it is, tell the truth. Tell the truth about how that makes you feel. And love as well is being able to have an honest conversation with people who hurt you, who take advantage of you. Woo! Y'all set me on fire. I love all this conversation that's happening on both the IG account. So I'm going to read that. Now I want to finish my thoughts. Let's see what Pat said. I know I look goofy looking at the screen like this. Did I do that? I am learning how to separate the person from their behavior. Yes, I think a way to do that is to recognize, first of all, they may not know it, but recognize that they're a spiritual being just like you. That God loves them just like God loves you. And that doesn't mean you don't get to have an honest conversation. Candor, that's love. Tell them the truth. Like this has been happening for such a long time, and it's time that I needed to stop. And they may be defensive. If you don't stop, then what? I'm just telling you, I needed to stop. I'm not going to put up with it. What you going to do? I don't know. But I'm letting you know. I remember saying, oh yeah, I remember who it is. I said, woo, I felt good about myself. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's not listening, but who knows? And I'm not afraid of him or anything. But I remember someone who I'm actually in business with. Let's put it that way. Very rude, always rude. And one day I said, I'm done with your disrespectfulness. You're not going to disrespect me. It stops today. Now, he's an older man too. And I remember thinking, oof, I grew up in Nigeria. I was born in UK. I grew up in Nigeria, and there's some ways you can't speak to people older than you. But this man, this father being of God needed me to speak the truth, and not for him, but for me. Like enough. And I remember feeling like, damn, did that just come out my mouth? It's like, hell yeah, it did. And I'll tell you something. It stopped. So yeah, see them as a child of God, and know that they're spiritual beings just like you. And excuse me, Facebook and YouTube. I'm reading what's in the chat room, folks. I love when people share their thoughts. It gets me excited. So, okay, right. So my beloved just told me. She says, "Say that louder for the people in the back. The only God we will see is the God in ourselves." So true. Yep, that is it. You can lie to yourself that no, God is bigger than that. If you can't see it, you can't see it. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Lee said, God within, I have a heart. No, oh, that was Liz that said that. I thought it was Pat. Sorry, Pat. Pat was like, hey, I didn't say that. Yeah, telling the truth is not a judgment. Telling the truth is not a judgment. Telling the truth is, I have allowed this way of being. I've taught you how to relate to me. And now I'm realizing that what I've taught you, what I've allowed, is actually oppressive to me. It's triggering. So I need to teach you another way. I need you to teach you in another way. So you're going to teach me now? Who do you think you are? No, this is not about you. This is me letting you know what I'm going to put up with and not put up with. Now, sometimes that's not always easy. It depends on who you're dealing with. Every now and then, when I'm about to talk about, I'm not gonna go into details about this person I'm going to talk about, but sometimes, because I share this is a family member, and it's my dad. I share his story lately a lot on the shows, and I'm like, oh my God, if my father hears what I'm saying about him, not that I'm judging him or anything, the idea, because my father is very private, just like me, no, don't do that. He's very private. There's a lot going on in my head right now. He will feel some kind of way, but once you get in a conversation, it's like, yeah, I see it. But my father right now is one of my greatest teachers. And what I'm recognizing is he really isn't doing anything wrong. And some things that he says to me, or how he says it, or how I interpret it, how I take it. What I'm recognizing, well, what I realized several months ago, it's like there was this little boy in me that was still who was still seeing my father the way I saw him when I was a young child. So when I say something, I'm expecting him to be affirmative. It's not a conscious thing. It's unconscious, because that's what we're doing. What is your point of view of you? When you don't take that inner journey and create a space to be aware of how you're showing up in the world, it creates all kind of mess, and you don't even know you're doing it. So for me, I was like, why is my father like this? And then one day the truth revealed itself, and I realized that the little boy in me was looking for daddy to affirm me. So when I say something as an adult and daddy doesn't affirm me, I feel like he's judging me. And why is my dad judging me? But once I had that breakthrough, I broke free. We have a lot of little children clothed in an adult suit as political leaders of companies, leaders of organizations, because for whatever reason, they believe money is the power that they need, and there are parts of them that are traumatized, but they haven't faced. So they run the country, they run a company, they run an organization, they run the household, they run their neighborhood from a place of hurt, and they cause pain because they're not dealing with their pain. And sometimes the people who take advantage of us, they don't even know they're doing it. So the best thing you can do sometimes is to really just tell them what they did. And it takes courage to do that. It takes courage to say, how you treat me really hurts me. Not just it makes me angry. That's safe. I'm angry. That's easy to do. I'm angry. We can all say that. But we haven't created a society where it's easy to say, I am hurt. The things you said to me hurt my feelings. It hurt me so deep. It broke my heart. Because we judge the emotions that feel so feminine. We judge the feminine energy. So crying is judged. To feel like you're too sensitive. You just need to toughen up. You just need to be a big boy. You need to put your big girl panties on. Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes it's not. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, to feel your feelings, it's not a bad thing. It only becomes a problem when you don't listen to, when you don't address it. And just because you avoid it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Feelings buried alive never dies. They're going to show up in your conversation. They're going to show up in the things that you're doing. They're going to show up in your creation. They're going to show up in your relationship. And sometimes the people who take advantage of us, people who mistreat us, they're also, I know this might be a stretch for some people, they're actually spiritual teachers. They're giving you an opportunity to grow, opportunity to love. Like, I don't have to be in your space right now, but I'm going to love you. I'm going to see the best in you. Because if you were in your right mind, there's no way you would have done what you did. Now, they could have done something so horrible that has affected your life in ways that you might need some kind of legal assistance. Maybe you need therapy or a doctor, whatever it is, surgery. And I'm not saying rush to that point, but you know where you are. I want to read this and then I want to ask you some questions. Love. Did I tell you that I love when you interact with me? I'm not even going front. Because as much as I'm inspiring you, your questions, your thoughts inspire me. That's the exchange of energy. You can do it in all kinds of ways. One of the things you can do to lift yourself up is set the intention, be committed to exchanging energy. If it's not with that person, find a way to express it, to exchange it. And it's also good to exchange it with the same person. Not because you're obligated to, because you just know. It's like making love. If you're just lying down there, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Now, if your exchange of energy is after they finish doing what they're doing, you're going to get paid. That's a whole different conversation. But you're with somebody that you say you love and care about, or in a romantic relationship, you may not love them, but you're thinking this is what I can get. You want to at least get involved. It's really simple. Life is simple. And we get out of life what we put into life. What you put into life is what you get out of life. How open you are determines what comes in. And I'm not even talking about the ancestors yet. It's the truth. Pat, you know it's true. Ashley said there's a reason adults get teary and listen to lullabies. Yep. Love never leaves, but we never leave ourselves. We never leave ourselves. The child stays for the entire lifetime. I'm laughing at what Pat's like, dang, it's true. Okay, I'll come back to that. The inner child is the innocent part of you. The innocent part of you that doesn't need any kind of makeup, any kind of facade, any kind of mask. It is your soul. It is your spirit. It is the place where wisdom lies. It doesn't need to protect itself. But you can have experiences that causes you to think, I need to protect that part of you. But when you do the work that is necessary, when you allow yourself to grow and develop and transform, you start to have more trust in your soul, in your essence, to reveal it some more. Let's say you wear your heart on your shoulders. Okay, whatever that means. But you show up. And when you come from a healed place, that healing that has already happened in you, that is the healing consciousness, actually becomes your protection. It becomes your protection. It becomes your healer. It supports you when things are difficult. It leads you to the right book. Life is simple and we see it. I talked about making love. What you put in is what you get out. It's like life. We're talking about love. We're talking about self. What do you see about yourself? What do you know about yourself? The more love you get to share with another, the more inspired you are. When you have a great conversation when you don't feel like you have to protect yourself because you don't need protection, because your love is protection, and you're just exchanging energy, sacred energy, exchanges like, oh my God, this is so good. God is so good. I love my life. You're such a great friend. I love talking with you. You help me think. You help me think bigger. You help my mind expand. I just love talking to you because we laugh so hard. That's called making love. That's all it is. Love will set you free if you open up to it. And it will reveal the things that are in the way of you allowing love. So when you choose to love, when you decide, I'm ready to love deeper, be aware that some things are going to show up. And you might say, but I was trying to be more loving. Why is this happening? Because once you set the intention, once you set your mind, your consciousness, your mindset to be more loving, the way of being that gets in the way of loving have to rise up or have to show up. I mean, how do you know how strong you are if you're not lifting something? Oh, I'm strong. I can lift 100 pounds, 150 pounds. How do you know? I just know. Have you ever lifted 50 pounds before? Maybe 20 pounds. But how do you know you can lift 100 pounds? I don't know. But when you lift it, you start to realize, wait a minute. Maybe I can't. My bad. Let me try 80 pounds. I can do it, but oh my God. Never mind. Maybe I'll stick to 50. But if you want to lift 100, you have to find the weight. You need the tension, the resistance, the teachers to help you strengthen your spiritual muscles, and keep pumping. And then after a while, they used to take advantage of you. Now you're using them to advance yourself and grow. You thought you were going to take advantage of me. Oh, you're helping me advance. Ooh, I can handle you. Bring it. After a while, I'm like, nah, we can't mess with her. We can't mess with him. And whether you step into, yes, I want to live like that, or you step into, it's easier said than done. Why would you even do that? It is easier said than done. The work is in doing it. It's easy to say, let there be peace in the world. But it's something to say, let it begin with me. That's next level. Let there be peace and let it begin with me. With God as your brother and your sister and your family, God's got your back. So it's a daily exercise. It's a spiritual practice. The trick is we think we're learning something we don't know. We already know this. It's already in us. So the human experience is the space and an opportunity for us to reveal the invisible. We make the invisible visible. We reveal the invisibility of love, of strength, of courage, of creativity by our actions. I have something I want to read from. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it because I've been playing around with it for the past 2 days if I'm going to read it, but I don't know yet. That's right, one heart at a time, Liz. Pat said, yes. Yes, I'm experiencing this now. I opened myself and now all kind of ish is showing up. Let's talk about that. So the theme, the topic, the title, however you want to phrase it, is what is your point of view of you? Everybody who can identify with what Pat just said, she's opening herself up to be more loving. And now all kind of ish is showing up. What are you making that mean? Are you making it mean people are just evil? Are you making it mean I need to get rid of them because they're trying to harm me? Or are you making it mean I think what is happening in here, they're helping me strengthening my love muscles? Loving someone doesn't mean you don't tell them the truth, as well as when you're loving, when the things show up, sometimes you don't have to do anything about it. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Trust me, I know. I can do a podcast for 2 hours all by myself, right? Sometimes I used to think I need to address everything. Maybe not everything. I'm kind of exaggerating here. But I've learned to. I had another experience a few weeks ago, where someone said something about me and it wasn't true. And the people who were part of the conversation knew it wasn't true, but this person was saying this is what he was saying. They're like, no, that's not what he was saying. Inside of me, I was like, I want to say something. I want to say something. Who do they think they are? Why are they judging me? Brett, I've been lifting, and lifted. I'm lifted higher. So I'm feeling the part of me that was being triggered. It wasn't intense, so it was easy to yield to it because I've been lifting. I just breathed through it while other people said, that's not what he's saying. And I was able to watch myself wanting to respond and like, it's not going to make a difference. Just let it go. I let it go, but I could still feel the tremors, the reverberation of that statement. But because I kept lifting, deep breath. It's not about you. You know what you meant. You know what you're saying. Even though they're making it mean something else, it's not about you. I didn't even know when it left me. I didn't know when I forgot about that whole incident. I just remembered it now. This happened about 2 weeks ago. So I got some questions for you. I've been talking about questions. What is your point of view of you? Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. How do you see yourself? Who are you? Who the heavens are you anyway? What are you? These are questions to marinate on. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here on this plane? Why are you here where you are right now? Whether it's at work, at home, why are you in that space, in that place? What are you doing there? What are you adding to the space that you're in? Are you doing what you're here to do? Are you doing what you're here to do? Are you fulfilled? Are you happy? Are you living purposefully? Do you feel like you belong? Do you feel like you belong? Where do you belong? Where do you belong? What does that look like? Is it certain kind of people? Just spiritual people? People who are loving? Do you belong with people who are not judgmental? People who believe in the same thing that you believe? Where do you belong? Whatever your answer is whatever your answer is. Only you get to answer that for yourself. And you better tell the truth. Because when you tell the truth you tell yourself will set you free. Not just the truth of God, the spiritual truth. Your own truth. Where do you belong? When it comes to how you see you, what do you think is missing? When you look at your life, what do you think is missing? What do you wish could be different? So when you say something is missing, what is that that's missing for you? What if what is missing is you? If you think something is missing in your life, you can't quite put your hand on it, you're still trying to figure it out, you're in therapy, you're reading a book, you're watching TEDx, Brene Brown, listen to Ian Van Zandt, Michael Beckwith, Ricky Byers, Life Coach Ade. I'm doing all that, but something is still missing. What is that? And what if that thing that you're looking for is you? What if the answer is you including you into your day-to-day activities? Like, what is missing? What if what is missing is you? And the answer is you include you in the things you do when when you're preparing your children for their day, when you're going to work. You include in yourself. Do I want this? Is this something that I need? Is this something that I desire? Is this fulfilling? Does this make me happy? Do I want to wear this because that's what I want to wear, or I'm wearing it because I've been told that's what I need to wear? When we tell ourselves when we tell ourselves the truth, we'll set ourselves free. And I feel like I'm going to read from the Sacred Yes. Now I'm going to, no, I'm not going to read that yet because I don't need to read that. So the Sacred Yes, Letters from the Infinite, as revealed to Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, Rev D, who joins me every first Tuesday of the month. Yeah. Okay. So I want to read some more. Actually, before I read, let me break it down for a minute. When I talk about the truth, your truth will set you free. I want to invite you to be open in what I'm about to read. And what I'm about to read, I've read it before. Some of you may have heard it, but you can always hear it again because every time I read it, I get something new. But I would say it's definitely one of the most transformative truths that I've ever heard. Because on this spiritual journey, the spiritual path, spiritual community, we're always talking about spiritual truth. You got to tune into the spiritual universal truth. It's all about truth. And who gets to decide what the truth is? You get to decide who gets to decide what the truth is. So what I'm about to read is personal truth and spiritual truth in the Sacred Yes. And this is in chapter, what section is it? It's page 103, and it's under the section, the chapter Feel, Deal, and Heal, section 2, page 103. And Jackie, who is listening, see, I gave the page, I gave the section, I gave the name of the book. Jackie would. One time I read something out of a book. She said, next time you got to say the chapter and the page. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was caught up in the moment. Okay. So, personal truth. And the person, okay, let me just read because I think it speaks to what I'm about to say. There's so much here, so I might just stop halfway. Or not. So this is about personal truth. Now, actually, I'm going to read from the beginning. It's so much. I mean, if you don't have the Sacred Years, I strongly recommend you get it. I feel it may seem like I'm teasing you. I'm not. There's so much here that I just can't fully get into. I just gave the page 103, Jackie. Okay, personal truth and spiritual truth. Your personal truth reflects your human experience. There's your human experience and there's your spiritual experience, and they're not separate. They go hand in hand. Okay? There is so much. So, for those of you who don't know about the sacred yes, this is a download that Rev D received. That's why she calls it letters from the infinite. It's similar to conversations with God. She received a download, prophecy, led a conversation with God. Okay? So this is the divine speaking through her. This is the infinite speaking through Rev D. There is so much to be said about the notion of telling the truth. It causes a great deal of confusion and difficulty, as well as liberation and revelation. Sometimes you get confused about what you actually mean by the word truth. Sometimes you try to distinguish between spiritual truth and your human experiential truth by denoting the former with a capital T and the latter with a little t. I wish to speak first about the truth with a little t. Okay, this is your personal truth. All right? When you human beings are speaking your truth, you are acknowledging, admitting, sharing, revealing, declaring what you consider to be real from the perspective of your own experience, exploration, analysis, or understanding. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to take it slow. When you human beings are speaking your truth, you are acknowledging, admitting, sharing, revealing, declaring what you consider to be real from the perspective of your own experience, exploration, analysis, or understanding. For this reason, your truth is laden with all of your assumptions, biases, projections, syntheses, and subjectivity. Understand what it is I am saying here. By definition, your truth is reflective of you, of everything about you. This is not a bad thing. It is the way that it is. It is important that you learn your own truth. It is important that you grow to understand what you feel, what you think, what you believe, what you project, what you harbor. It is very, very important. Questions, comments, thoughts? Like, it's really important to understand that your truth is based on your experience. Even if you have 10, 15, a political party, organization agreeing with you, it's just a collective agreement of your own personal experience. Section 2, you need to understand yourself. When you do not understand your feelings, then you have a tendency to act out. What do I mean by act out? This phrase has become popular in your society and has come to mean the process by which all of the hidden emotions you are carrying express themselves in a variety of ways that you are not consciously aware of. Your unwillingness to look at what you think, feel, and harbor does not make any of it go away. Your refusal to look at let's read that again. Your refusal to look neither camouflages nor hides. Your expression of acting out are always there to be seen. The only one who isn't aware of them is you. Hope that makes sense. Does that make any sense? Anybody questions like, what? Wait a minute. If you have any questions, let me know. I want to read this whole part because it's just necessary. Other people may not know all of the details of what is going on with you. However, the energy of what you are feeling and experiencing screams so loudly that oftentimes people cannot hear a word you are speaking, you are saying. It is important that you get to know who you are. Why is it important? So you can love yourself. So you can love yourself, my children. George Washington Carver said, "Whatever you love enough reveals its secrets to you." You must love yourself in order for all of your own secrets to be revealed to you. You must love yourself in order for all of your own secrets to be revealed to you. And many of us are walking around with secrets, we don't even know it. And we don't know why this keeps happening. We don't know why someone's treating us that way. Because we're sending that vibe out. We're sending the vibe out that they can speak to us whichever way they choose. Or they can be in control. They think they can be in control of our life. Why is it necessary for your secrets to be revealed to you? So you can be in control of yourself. Most of you are simply out of control. You don't have emotions. Your emotions have you. You don't have thoughts. Thoughts have you to express themselves through. You are not in control. Therefore, you become an open channel for anything and everything that simply needs a human consciousness to express through. What I just read, I don't know if y'all caught that. I don't know if I caught it the first time because I marked it, but that is powerful. I'm going to read it again. You are not in control. Therefore, you become an open channel for anything and everything that simply needs a human consciousness to express through. So when you find yourself saying something that you say you don't believe in, and you say to yourself, "Oh my God, why did I even say that?" It's because you're not in control of yourself. There's so many things we say around children, around people we love. There are things that we say about ourselves because we're not in control. And anything and everything that needs a human consciousness to express through comes through us. I really believe, let's go beyond it. I know from the deepest part of me that some of these young men that are going to schools or wherever they go to kill groups of people, they have so much secrets inside of them, they don't even know what the flip they're dealing with, that they act out. They become a channel for the hate and the oppression and the injustice. Yes, it's a mental health issues. I heard somebody saying, no, you can't say everybody that goes shooting people is it is mental health. There are many levels to mental health. Let's not try and separate that. I get it. You have to be mentally ill. It's a mental illness. I guess we can even say that. Because I don't always like saying mental health as that's something bad. Mental health is just mental health. Are you mentally healthy? Or are you mentally weak? So yes, for you to buy a gun, for you to get a gun and travel or go to a school or wherever you go and kill other people, and you've allowed your mind, your consciousness, just everything about you get caught up in the lies and the BS of society and the fear and the hate and so much more that you can't even explain. It's because you don't know the fuck who you are. Sorry if that hurt your ears. You don't know. You don't know who you are. And nobody who knows who they are would really be able to point to another that they're the reason for their suffering, their pain, their struggle, or what's going on in the country or in the world. This spiritual path calls us to step up and take responsibility for our lives, for our actions. And no matter how fancy we want to be with words, God take responsibility. I'm going to read some more. I'm going to read spiritual truth as well, but I'm not sure which part because it's just so juicy. Because you are not in control, you are a place of expression in the universe for things that you don't even like. Take control of yourselves. Take control. Take control. Take control. You're very well aware of this. Most of you get quite disgusted with your own selves for perpetuating actions, beliefs, feelings, and the like that you don't want to have. You feel at their mercy, helpless against your own self. I can relate. Grow to love yourself so that you can love me. How you treat yourself is how you treat God. Your perspective of yourself is your perspective of God. If you think, I'm kind of breaking this part down because it's coming up for me, but this is going to explain it even deeper. If you think that, no, I'll save it for later. So, grow to love yourself so that you can love me. Me as in God. Oh no, my children, this is not the way it ought to be. You need to get to know yourself. You need to get to know yourselves so that you can heal. Why is it important for you to heal? It is so you can have a relationship with me. All of those places in yourself that are filled with guilt, shame, anxiety, doubts, where you are at odds with yourself, where you are hiding from yourself or other people, the energy of all of that is rather exhausting and time consuming. It fills up all of your creative energy, making it difficult for you to be available to do much else. In order for the two of us to have a relationship as only one of us, it is important that you be available. I know who you are. You need to know who you are. I work with you exactly as you are. I love you exactly as you are. And you can't stay you can't stay that way. I love you at every level of expression of yourself. And it is important that you grow to love yourself at every level of expression. Every level. However you see yourself, whatever your point of view of yourself is, to love yourself. Let's take this to the next level. If you're having an affair with somebody, you know you shouldn't do it. Love yourself. Because we think we can't mix that. Why would you say that? If you're having an affair, if you're stealing stuff from work, love yourself. If you're struggling with keeping your own word to yourself, love yourself. If you're struggling to speak up when you know you should, something in you is telling you, or you played small, you were going to speak your truth, but somehow you didn't. Love yourself. Love yourself at every level of expression, every level. Whether you're saying, I'm not going to forgive. I know I should, but I ain't going to forgive nobody. But I know I should. I don't know how to forgive me. I can forgive other people. Don't forgive you, but love yourself. Whew. You know, my children, you do to others what you do to yourself. So if you are unwilling to get to know yourself fully, you are unwilling to get to know me fully. If there are things about your own self that cause you apprehension, that you would rather not deal with or take a look at, particularly if those things appear contradictory, then you are unwilling to learn about such things in me either. However, a lot of the seeming contradiction is really just paradox. It is a matter of simultaneous truths, and you need to come to grips with that. I am not one-dimensional any more than you are. We are multifaceted, and you will never learn how to grow so that you can explore the depths of who I am if you are unwilling to explore the depth of who you are. Get to know yourself. Your society is full of processes and exercises and techniques that deal with the human psyche. Let yourself be guided to the ones most appropriate for you. Man, if that doesn't light you up, I don't know what is. And I won't be surprised if someone is listening to that and they're crying in tears. Because that's love. That's an all-inclusive love. Now let me read about spiritual truth to balance it. I'm going to skip forward. But before I skip forward, I'm going to read this. You can't heal what you don't feel. You can't deal with anything that you don't feel. So if you want to heal, you got to feel it. You got to feel it. Sometimes in therapy, in places like embodiment spaces, where we are bringing people back to feel an emotion, a sensation, something that happened in the past, there's caution about not letting them be re-traumatized. So sometimes we may not give people permission to really feel the thing they need to feel. You gotta feel it. But whenever you're doing whatever you're doing about healing work, spiritual work, with a counselor, with a therapist, with a coach, with a whoever, with a guru, with a mentor in nature, invite love. Let love be your guide. You can't heal what you don't feel. You can't deal with anything that you don't feel. You got to feel it. So you can avoid it. That's why grieving is necessary. That's why telling the truth about what you feel is necessary. Telling the truth and grieving the pain, the hurt, the brokenheartedness brings you to a place of wholeness. Your spiritual truth transcends your personal truth. What time is it? Woo-wee. Okay. I wish now to speak about truth with a capital T and relate it back to the truth with a little t. In the realm of truth, when it's capital T truth, I won't even tell you, I just read it. If it's little t, then I'll let you know. In the realm of truth, there is oneness. It is neither subjective nor objective. You will be confused about oneness if you try to comprehend it using your analytical processes. Subjective and objective are not opposites. Subjectivity is just what you individually and collectively agree upon, what you all subjectively believe anyway. No, my truth, yes, it is mine, transcends all of that. In the truth, there is no persona or personality. The truth transcends human circumstances, conditions, experiences, and judgments. The truth reigns supreme. The truth reigns supreme. The truth is that all things work together for good. The truth is that everybody and everything is already perfect, whole, and complete. The truth is that everything has a place in the divine plan, and it is not necessary for you as human beings to judge what is good, what is bad, what should go, and what should stay. The truth is that it all belongs somewhere. This is the truth. There's another part that I want to read, so I'm going to fast forward. Okay, here we go. It's actually the next paragraph. There is often much confusion. On the one hand, you are told that you must get in touch with the deeper levels of your feelings, which are often laden with profound sense of inferiority, inadequacy, failure, and self-centeredness. The full range of human experience. And you are also told at the same time that you are perfect, whole, and complete. So you ask, well, which one is it? Am I what I feel, or am I what they say that I am in spirit? Just what am I? Well, my children, you are both. And this is what you have to come to grips with. You are both. Beyond all of your experiences and what you think about anything and everything, there is a truth, capital T truth, about you. That you are made of the Spirit, in the Spirit, by the Spirit, and that as Spirit, you are perfect, whole, and complete. The truth of your being is absolutely unconcerned with all of your little truths. For your little truth can in no way, shape, or form dictate or define your truth, capital T truth. Understand what I'm saying here. I'm going to stop there. There's more. But whew, tell me that doesn't light you up to understand that you can have your personal truth that is laden with your judgment, with your guilt, with your shame, with your not enough, with I didn't quite make it. I could have been promoted. That business could have worked. I was afraid. They took me for my money. They took advantage of me. That's present. And yet, you're still perfect. You are a whole human being. You are complete. You are loved. You are a child of the Most High God. It's being able to hold both. It's not either or. Life is not either or. Life is both and. And true spirituality, according to me, is embracing your humanity as well as your spirituality. If you separate them, you're in trouble. If you say, I want to be more spiritual and ignore what makes you human, you're in trouble. If you say, I can't deal with the spiritual thing, talking about loving and being peaceful and being a change and creating the world that works for everyone, I just can't. I'm just going to be human. You're in trouble. Because you're dealing with separation. You're one with the one. So when you choose one over the other, you're out of balance. If you want to be in balance, you got to stand in balance. And balance is the human experience and your spiritual truth. My dear friend who's listening, Jackie and I were talking about balance. You can't have your toes, like few toes, like, okay, I got few toes in spiritual truth and the rest of my other leg is fully in the human experience, or I have one leg in the spiritual truth, but I got my toes in the human experience because it's too much for me to deal with. Now you got to have both feet, one in your human experience and the other in your spiritual experience. And you know what? Both legs are connected to you. Both legs are connected to you. So the whole of you is in it. The whole of you is in the one. And whether you know it or not, you are all a part of one. We are all a part of one. So when I talk about connecting with your ancestors, you're not going to something outside of you. You're actually reaching beyond. You're reaching to the spiritual truth. You're connecting with a part of you, your people who've walked the planet, who have now shed the human body and not dealing with the human things. They're out there. They're in the invisible realm. They're in the cloud. And you can go in there and tap in, get the file of love relationship, how to make it successful. You can find a file in the cloud known as your ancestry and find creativity. You can download peace from the file, the cloud called ancestry. Your ancestors is the ultimate cloud. You don't even have to pay for it. You're just going to invest in it. And the more you invest in it, the more it serves you. What is your point of view? Where are you standing and looking at yourself? When you look at yourself, are you looking at yourself from a, you got some shit to grow through? Or are you looking at yourself saying, you got some stuff to go through, but it's okay because you're good? We're here to make the invisible visible. We're here to make the spiritual truth visible from a human perspective. And the people that inspire us the most, if we're telling the truth, are the people who've been through the human experiences, who've been maybe abused, have been, if somebody who killed somebody, who murdered somebody, turned their life around, they got a big company, they're employing people, they're a CEO of a major corporation, and they become the keynote speaker. We're inspired by them. But most of us are never inspired by them when they were a murderer, when they were called a murderer. It doesn't matter. What matters is they use the tools that was given to them, that is in them, and they turned their life around. I don't know if anybody would be inspired by a murderer who turned their life around. There might be some people. And since we treat people the way we treat others, those who cannot forgive themselves for the mistakes that they make will say, I don't care if they're hiring people and changing lives around, they still kill somebody. The Bible said, thou shalt not kill. I can't forgive that. It has nothing to do with the person. It's more about you. Every criticism is a confession. I'm complete. Now, it went quiet on me. But that's okay, because I can make my own noise. I crack myself up. So I don't care if nobody's telling jokes. I want to hear your thoughts about Sacred Yes. If you don't have it, pick it up. The Sacred Yes, Letters from the Infinite, Volume 1, as revealed through Reverend Deborah L. Johnson. And that was Personal Truth and Spiritual Truth. I didn't read all of it. There's so much. And then Volume 2 is Your Deepest Intent. Your Deepest Intent. Letters from the Infinite, Volume 2. Pick it up. It speaks to everything that we're dealing with today. And one of the things about these volumes, the Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent, it doesn't just tell you that if you're more loving, then this is going to happen. It also tells you that while you choose to be more loving, I think it was Liz or Pat that said it, that some ish is going to come up. Sometimes, I'm trying to wrap this up. Sometimes there are teachers that says, be more loving. And when you're more loving, your life will be peaceful. And, you never have to deal with stuff. Oh, yes, you're going to deal with stuff. What's the point of being more loving if you ain't going to deal with stuff? Because if you're cooking something, you turn that heat up, the food is going to deal with more stuff. But because you're coming from a place of alignment, a place of connection, being loving is you being yourself, being grounded, and being inspired by what is true, the things that come your way, sometimes they're not even going to feel difficult. I'm telling you what I know. I have made a conscious choice for the past few months now. Like, I am choosing to live like I really believe what I say I believe. I'm going to live and accept that everything is working together for my good. There's no point saying, yes, everything's working together for my good, and then I'm panicking. I still do every now and then, but I bring myself back. Remember? Now, you may not get everything done, but your mindset, your mind will be at peace. I'm telling you what I know. And then you find that you're led to do something that you've forgotten to do that you should have done a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. You find that you have a situation that you have to deal with, and people say, I don't know if they can help you. And then you call them up, and somehow they're helping you. One with God is majority. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you, and I thank God for you. Join me tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time for Soul Fulfilling with my dear sister friend, Ricky Bias. You can find us on YouTube. That's the easy way to find us. If you go to YouTube and just click, what is it? youtube.com/Ricky Bias. On Mondays, you can find me on LinkedIn and YouTube I co-host with two friends of mine, Cecile and Christine Gautreau. And I don't have a banner here for that. It's Monday at 11:45 Eastern time, which is 4:45 UK time. And go to youtube.com/The Real Cecile. No, actually, Cecile Armstrong. But it's SACIL Armstrong. You find the content there, the past shows, you find that. And if you're thinking of moving your podcast, looking for podcast hosting sites, libsyn.com is what I would recommend. Check it out. I've been using them now for about maybe almost 4 years now. And when you do go there, if you like what they're offering and it aligns with what you're doing, make sure you use the promo code ADE. ADE. That will give you 1 month free. Depends on when you sign up. Like if you sign up today, I wouldn't even recommend you sign up today. Today's 31st. We'll just wait till the 2nd of the month, which would be June. So if you sign up on the 2nd of June, you will have the whole of June free and the whole of July. I mean, come on. Does it get better than that? Yep. But that's what they got right now. Mohammed, nice to see you. Welcome aboard. Mohammed from Pakistan, right? You in Pakistan? No, you're in Pakistan, not India, I don't think. No, it's Pakistan. I'm very sure. Once again, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I thank God for you. I invite you to share this conversation. Share this conversation with your network, with your family. Spread the word. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube, youtube.com/lifecoachade. My website is lifecoachade.com. You can sign my mailing list. And if you have been inspired, feel moved, and you want to share financial contribution, you can donate through PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. PayPal.me/Ade, ADE, and my last name, ADEANIFOWOSE. It's on the screen right now. And for those of you on IG, if you need it, just send me a message. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook can see it. PayPal, Cash App, #, not $, #, Life Coach Ade, and Venmo is Ade-Anifowoshe. Oh boy, what else do I want to tell you? What else do I want to show you? Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Next week, Rev D is going to be back with me. And you know it's going to be good, as always. Whatever you do, be good to you. Trust yourself. Muhammad said, please say Pakistan. That's what I said. Pakistan, Zandabad. I've never heard of that before. Well, I hope you're not having me say a bad word. Because if you are, you're going to get blocked next time, because I'm going to Google it. Once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Whatever you do, be you, because that's what you're here to do. And take the consciousness, this consciousness, multiply it, make a difference. Peace and blessings.
Be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we